Final Fantasy XIV is a massive game with thousands of hours of content. What I'm going to do here is break down some of the major plot points for those of you who want to know more about Eorzea, but may not have time to experience it all firsthand. Today, we're picking up with the second part of the Shadows of Mhach storyline from Heavensward. When we last left off, the Red Bills and the Warrior of Light were about to head to the ruins of the city of Mhach to retrieve the null stone before Diabolos can get it. Oh yeah, and you may save Rodlia. Maybe. The Voidsent filled every corner of their city on the search for the null stone. At the heart of the ruins you face FFXIV, a former Mhach mage who used a ritual to mutate her body and become immortal so she could act as the last line of defense for the null stone. After you dispatch her, you search around but still find no sign of Rodlia or the Talons, but you do manage to find the null stone. However, on your fight through the city, you did destroy all of its defenses, making a path for the Voidsent straight to the device. FFXIV, one of Diabolos' servants and a Voidsent that you faced before, shows up with Rodlia in tow. He threatens to kill her if you don't hand over the stone, as if any one of you really care about her. The pirate is hardly a friend, and instead of turning over the stone, Leofard pulls his gun on her himself. The two of them start arguing, which is kind of funny in this situation. The argument irritates FFXIV so much that instead of killing Rodlia, he attacks Leofard, but Kite Sith activates the null stone and blasts the Voidsent with a powerful light. He flees before it can kill him, and you gather up Rodlia and return to the Red Bill's base. While it's cause for celebration that your mission was successful, Leofard's a bit upset that the null stone didn't work the way Kite Sith said it would. It was supposed to destroy the Voidsent in an instant, not give it a chance to run away. However, the problem wasn't with the stone. Kite just didn't know how to fully harness its power. Once he learns to use it properly, a creature like FFXIV will be wiped out in a blink. Even though it didn't work out as he had hoped, Leofard still compliments Kite on his quick thinking, admitting that he probably saved you all with his attack before he heads to his office, where you follow him to wait for Rodlia to wake up. When she comes in the room, the first thing she does is ask for a crew. Sadly, none of them survived. She looks truly sad for her people, but Leofard wants to know what made her go into Mhach in the first place. She had wanted the Void Ark's weapons, so for her to risk her crew to explore the ancient city means she must have known something else was there. She'd found a book in some ruins in the Sea of Clouds that had mentioned a powerful weapon called the Null Stone. The book was old and barely legible, but even Rodlia's men could tell that it was written by a famous Mhach mage. She still had the book with her, and she hands it over. She had planned on claiming the Void Ark and the Mhach weapon, then using them to crown herself the Queen of the Skies, but after failing to keep her crew safe, she doesn't even feel worthy of the title. Kite Sith tries to get her to join the rest of the Talons with the Red Bills, so you can hunt down the Voidsent and get revenge for what happened, but Rodlia lost her best men in the ruins. The few that she has left aren't worth too much. Leofard tries to light a fire under her with a few well-placed insults, but that's not even enough to get her back in the game. She leaves the book, hoping that it can help you deal with the Voidsent, and Leofard orders Kate to translate it and learn to use the Null Stone as quickly as possible. He wants every weapon he can have when you all go up against the Shadow Queen. Meanwhile, Diabolos is informed by FFXIV that the mortals have the Null Stone, something that he already knew. He vows to deal with them, but Diabolos is tired of hiding. The Shadow Queen is almost back at full power, and it's time for their plans to go forward. Kite Sith was right about the book. It was written by a very powerful Mhach sorcerer, and has information on the Null Stone as well as a bit of information about his master Cesare. Apparently she was the one who summoned Diabolos. She had planned on using it as a bluff to scare Amdapor into surrendering, but the Mhach Empire, instead of using it as a threat, unleashed the Voidsent on their enemies. When Cesare protested, they branded her a traitor and arrested her. After they had locked her away, they began to learn all types of dark magic from Diabolos, including how to summon the Shadow Queen and bind her power. When everything went wrong, just like Cesare predicted, the Mhach begged her to use the Void Ark to save their people from the calamity, and that led to the Shadow Queen's power leaking out on the Ark, something that Diabolos had planned for by giving the mages a flawed binding spell. He had intended to return and join his power with the Queens, but he had been sealed away by white mages in Amdapor. There's no telling what they could do if their powers were brought together. As Cesare's familiar, Kite Sith feels that it's his job to deal with Diabolos since his master summoned it, and since the book told him how to use the Null Stone, he can do it. That's all well and good, but rushing off after Diabolos, even though the compass can track him to his base, is a good way to die, nullstone or not. Apparently Statia's the only member of the crew with any sense of self-preservation. Without her, Leofard would probably lead his crew to the same fate as the Talons. Mid-talk, the entire base begins to shake. You all race outside to find the base under attack by Diabolos himself. His attack was so swift that he manages to steal the nullstone before Kite Sith can use it. He gets ready to use it on you to knock the base out of the sky, but Eorzea and her Talons show up with a massive airship, causing the Voidsent to retreat with his prize. Apparently Eorzea managed to get the other pirate crews to unite under her, and she brought them to Leofard's base so you can all deal with the Voidsent. Good thing she did, because she probably saved you all, especially Leofard. He was hurt so badly during the attack that Kite Sith wants him to stay behind while you all go after Diabolos. You can't wait for him to recover. Not while the Voidsent have the nullstone. Of course, Leofard's against the idea of letting Eorzea take the lead, but Kite Sith believes she's the best one for the job since he thinks Diabolos is on the very island where Eorzea found the Mhach book. The book spoke of the floating island that was made to be a safe haven for those who fled the floods of the Calamity. It also tells of the Voidsent magic used to make the place. It was where the Void Ark was supposed to land, but since it never happened, the island was never inhabited and would make a perfect spot for Diabolos and his allies to hide. Diabolos would never expect you to attack him so suddenly. With Eorzea's fleet, she can rip a path through the lesser Voidsent, clearing a way for you to take the nullstone back and finish off Diabolos once and for all. Injured as he is, Leofard would only be in the way. He pouts about it, but he understands, and you all get ready to head to Dunskaith for your final confrontation with Diabolos. And that's where we're going to stop for today. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on the next part of the story.